but then approval from regulators of having it be autonomous is anywhere from, I don't know, 1 to 5 years after that, depending upon the location, because the regulators have to be convinced that it is substantial. I think they'll want to see that it's significantly more, significantly safer than cars that are driven by people.
I want to open it up in about 5 minutes, so I just have a couple more questions to get to you. And so if you guys have questions in the audience, get your shot on goal in just a second. I want to talk about entrepreneurship, because both of you are entrepreneurs. You invest in them, you are one, and you think about this a lot. Your old pal, Peter Thiel, likes to say that he would not invest in somebody who's over the age of 30 years old, that it should be the cutoff. You're 44 now. He's invested in you.
Yeah, I guess make some exceptions.
But you may be the exception to the rule. As somebody who invests in companies every day, do you think there's a cutoff? There's a lot of people out here who are over the age of 30. Are we done?
I mean, we've said this before, but when we've looked at our data, the mean age of the entrepreneurs we fund is just around 29 or 30. So there's obviously lots of over 30 entrepreneurs that we fund, some of which have gone on to create multi-billion-dollar companies. So I think certainly you can't say it's impossible for people over 30 to create companies. That's ridiculous. And we plan to continue to invest in people of all ages. The correlation that we've noticed is that if you look at the really successful companies we've had, the multi-billion-dollar companies, the average age for those founders does skew significantly younger, but the success rate of founders of this binary, is the company a success or not, skews older than 30. So younger entrepreneurs, I think, tend to take bigger risks. Maybe they're willing to work on these very long time horizon projects, but that's the only correlation we see. I think it would be a crazy strategy to say I'm never going to invest in anyone over 30.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's.
I don't think Peter meant that either.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely start a company at any age and be successful. I mean, it's really just a question of, like, do you have a good idea? Are you working really hard? Are you able to attract a great team and motivate the team? And that's sort of really what matters.
But you've had multiple ideas. And there's another view, by the way, which is that you can only really have one great idea, right? That everybody sort of has maybe one great idea.
No, it's not really the idea. I mean, like there's that old saying, it's 1% inspiration, I think, and 99% perspiration, I think is generally true. I mean, a lot of times, like, companies start out with an idea that's actually wrong, but they adapt quickly enough to get it to something that's right. And I can say, like, at the beginning of Tesla, we started out with we started the company with 2 false premises, like, that would turn out to be, like, really dumb. One was that we'd be able to license the drivetrain technology from a company called AC Propulsion in Southern California, and that it would just work. That totally didn't work. And then we also thought we'd be able to adapt the Lotus Elise chassis at low cost and be able to essentially put the AC Propulsion drivetrain technology in a Lotus Elise chassis, and then just build that quickly and sell it, and that would be okay. But like I said, the AC Propulsion technology did not lend itself to any kind of cost-effective, reliable car. It was okay for, like, a small prototype, but not for a commercial product. And then the Lotus Elise, that ended up being worse than if we had designed a car from the beginning, because we ended up changing like 96% of the components in the car, and invalidating all of the crash results and all the safety stuff. The car ended up being 30% heavier, it had to be longer, and it ended up being like if you had a house in mind, and instead of actually building that house from scratch, you got some existing house, and ended up knocking everything except one wall in the basement out, and it would have been better to just build the house from the beginning, the house you wanted. So it basically, Tesla was started on the basis of 2 dumb ideas, but we managed to, it was a tough one to overcome those two issues, but we managed to get past them. That's I think the more important thing is, like, start somewhere and then really be prepared to question your assumptions, fix what you did wrong, and adapt to reality.
How did you run two companies at the same time? Jack Dorsey's about to take this on in a meaningful way. What is